Thank you for clicking on this video. Rank the movies. Martin Prevost here. Yeah, it's a weird opening. I'm not going to reshoot it though. Keeping it the way it is. Alright, so I know I've done book to movie comparisons before, and generally they are, you can see I've done Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, The Shining. I might have done Dr. Sleep. I don't think I did Dr. Sleep, but I might have done Dr. Sleep. I want to say I've done Who Censored Roger Rabbit. So I've done these before. I've done book to movie, and they've always been, it was a book, and then it was a movie, because novelizations of a movie really are never interesting enough to talk about. Like, I've read some good ones. The Gremlins novelization has just the right amount of difference where I could do a video on it. I'd have to reread the book again. So maybe that's a future thing. Maybe that's future Martin's bag. Oh, excuse me. As for current Martin's bag, I just read the novelization of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I finished it about midnight last night. I wasn't going to finish it last night. Then I only had 20 pages left. And I went, well, I might as well just finish this before I go to bed, because there's only 20 pages left. So while this book came out the year after the movie, and the movie was 2019, I believe, so I think it came out 2019, 2020. I didn't even know he had written a novelization of it until I came across it at Half Price Books 2 months ago, something like that. This is written by Quentin Tarantino, so it isn't like some other person. Like if you were to go find the novelization of Pulp Fiction, it's probably not written by Quentin Tarantino. It's probably written by somebody else. As far as I know, this is Quentin's first novel that he's written, though I do know he wanted to do The Hateful Eight as a novel originally. So why am I talking about it? It's a novelization of a movie. I've seen the movie. I've seen the movie quite a few times. I really enjoy the movie. It was a debate of if I like, I think at the time of my best of 2019 video, which is here, you can find it way back in the archives, I think it took my number one spot. I think Knives Out has surpassed it since. I like Knives Out more once I had seen it more and had time to process it, but it would have been number 2 then. So it's one of my favorite movies of that year. I still really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it moves very well. I think it's a really good story. So why am I talking about its novelization? Because this is not the movie. That's why. It still is about Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth. It still has the Manson family. It still has Sharon Tate. But this is not the movie you saw in theaters. Which is really cool. Like, this actually reads, for like the first 3 quarters of this book, actually reads like it started off as a book and then the rights were bought and turned into a movie. That's actually how it reads. So it's really cool. Like, it's not just, you can't just picture the movie going on as you're reading, as a lot of other book to movies. Actually, I might just do a video on some of my favorite novelizations, because there's at least 2 or 3 of them that I really do enjoy, that I think are really good. This would be on that list, but it's getting its own video. So, how is this different from the movie? That's the question. And why did I say the first 3 quarters seems like it's its own book? First off, I'm going to rip this Band-Aid off real quick. The entire ending with the Manson family invading Rick's house and him killing them happens in like the first 100 pages of this book. It's a flash forward in the story. It's just brought up. It's not even brought up that they're the Manson family, that it was the night that Sharon Tate was supposed to die. It's just brought up. It expects you to have seen the movie. That is my biggest problem with this book as a book. Like, as an actual novel, that is my biggest problem, is I feel like Quentin Tarantino expects you to have already seen the movie. So if you've never seen the movie and you just pick up this book, it's a real confusing moment. It'd be really confusing that it's just dealt with that quickly, that's not the climax of this story, nor in the way it is written is it actually made clear that those are the Manson family members, that they were going to be going after Sharon Tate instead. And I was going to save this for the end, but I guess I'm here because I decided to rip that Band-Aid off. Because of it, throughout this entire book, Sharon Tate and the Manson family are brought up a lot. They have a lot of stuff in this book. They're pointless. They are completely pointless in this book because the ending isn't the ending from the movie. Like, the movie, it all makes sense because it's a what if. What if this guy, existed and was there and the Manson family went after him instead of Sharon Tate and it all ended differently. That's fine. And that works. You want Sharon Tate in that story. You want the Manson family in that story. They're not needed. They are not needed. And the fact of the matter is, you look at the front, and it's the Manson house. That's the Spawn Ranch house that Cliff goes and he meets Squeaky Froman. That's the house. That's what it's depicting on its front cover. And it's pointless. It's a pointless part of this book. It is pointless. The book is well written. I liked the book. I kept reading it. And it does deviate a lot from the movie, which is what you want in a novel. You want it to be a different experience than, say, just going to see the movie. I've seen the movie. Why do I need to read this book? Because it is a different experience. It gives a lot more depth to the characters. So much more depth. And again, even depth to Sharon Tate and the Manson family. It gives more depth. But again, it's pointless. Like, if this thing said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a companion novel, if this said a companion novel, I'd be okay with that. Because that means this is just extra onto the movie, and it kind of tells you have to have seen the movie. Just in that word, companion. A companion novel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, I'd accept that. It works. That in that aspect, this book works great as a companion. If you want more details, if you want more information, if you want to see some deleted scenes, if you want to read some deleted scenes that Quentin Tarantino either A, never shot, or B, never released, this is a great way to do it. Because this is basically 90% of this book is deleted. And some of it you absolutely know was shot because it does, it's a movie novelization. It has photos. And these photos kind of, like, after you read the book, you can go back and look at these photos and kind of know where they came from in the movie and where they... there's Tim Roth. Tim Roth was in this movie. Right there. But he got cut out. He has one chapter in this book has that character. But yeah. So you can kind of look at where these photos are and figure out what chapter they go to. Except the one of Quentin Tarantino in front of the hot dog cart. Or, wow, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. I am brain dead this morning. You can see, that obviously isn't from the movie, but the rest of the photos are. And you can kind of piece them together of where they went with what's in the book. So right off the bat, the first chapter is still Rick meeting with the agent trying to get him to do the Italian films, except instead of meeting at a restaurant, they're meeting in his office, which seems like a way more reasonable place to have this meeting. Again, you get more details on Rick's career, on what the meeting is actually about, and Rick's feelings of it. We then get a lot of detail on Cliff's taste in movies. Like, that is the next chapter, is Cliff's tastes in movies. That's not what it's called, but that's what it's about. And it goes real obvious that Cliff Booth has murdered many people. In fact, it tells all these stories, including his wife, which is only hinted at and kind of briefly shown in the movie. It's full out explained what happened and all that in the book. You actually get Charles Manson talking, which is different than the movie. It's something I would have liked to have seen in the movie, is a little more Charles Manson actually being in the story. But you get that in the book. There's a scene of Charlie. It's an extension of when he goes to Sharon Tate's house to look for I can't think of the music producer's name, and there's actually a minute he gets sent around the house in the movie, and the book follows him around the house to his discussion with the guy in the guest house, the owner of the house. So that's interesting. There's a lot of moments where he lays out a scene from the movie, and then you follow something different. So again, it's a great companion. Like when Cliff goes to the Spawn Ranch and visits his old friend. In the movie, you see they're back and forth in the room. In the book, it's all told from Squeaky's perspective, outside listening to what's going on. So all this stuff is really interesting, and it's really good. Again, as a companion novel, to add depth to the movie, it works very well. It goes really into Lancer. And Lancer was an actual show. That wasn't something Quentin Tarantino made up. That was a real show starring real people. And he goes into Quentin Tarantino must have really liked watching Lancer when he was a kid, because he would have been a kid. He was a child when this stuff happened. So he must have liked Lancer when he was a kid, and that's why Lancer gets so much. He explains. He explains the motivation of two of the Lancer characters 2 to 3 times in this book. He must have really liked watching Lancer with his father, who's also in the book, Quentin Tarantino's father or stepfather. The book makes it sound like it's his father. I know I read something that said it was actually his stepfather. So one of those is correct. He makes an appearance in this book, asking for an autograph for his son, who he does drop, Quentin's name. Also, he makes himself direct a fake movie. I don't know if it's a fake movie. I didn't actually look it up, but it's a movie he definitely didn't direct. I forget what it's called, but he says he directed it in 1999. I'm like, it's not the year Jackie Brown came out? Didn't he direct Jackie Brown that year? Did he just decide that he wanted to? Okay, all right. Apparently, in a world where Sharon Tate doesn't get murdered, Quentin Tarantino doesn't direct Jackie Brown. That's what I got. That one actually, Jackie Brown might have been 98. It was around there though. I don't think he did a movie in 99. I think he was working on Kill Bill. So that was just a weird moment in the book. Why? Because they were explaining Mary Bell, who actually finally gets a name. I don't think they ever actually say her real name in the movie. Trudy Frazier is the actress, and he's kind of going over her career, and that's where he throws in she got nominated for an Academy Award for doing this movie directed by Quentin Tarantino, but you didn't direct that movie. So apparently, in a world where Sharon Tate lives, Quentin Tarantino does different things. I guess that's what it was saying. It was real subtle, so it made not a lot of sense, because I can't imagine huge waves. Things would be different, but a lot of things would still be the same. I'm just saying. Beyond the fact that you're introducing a whole new person who was a famous Hollywood guy, and that doesn't even create too many ripples. But there's a lot on the Lancer stuff. More depth. If you didn't figure out what the crap the basis of the Lancer show was by watching the movie, I gotta admit, I didn't figure it out until I got the Blu-ray and watched some deleted scenes. One of the deleted scenes is a chapter in the book from the Lancer set, which kind of actually explains what the hell is going on. Why the hell is Timothy Olyphant playing the actor Jim Stacy, who's the lead of Lancer? It's a show called Lancer, but the only scene you see him act in the movie as the character from Lancer, he is making a deal with a bandito to go after the Lancers. And then when you actually meet a Lancer, it's Luke Perry. All this, there's a deleted scene on the Blu-ray that explains what the hell's going on. The book goes into it in a lot of detail as to, yes, they're all Lancers. Even the guy who's plotting to betray his father, he's a Lancer. So that was nice. It was nice. Apparently, again, it was all based on the actual pilot to the show Lancer. God, how many times can I say Lancer in this video? But yeah, it's actually based on the show Lancer and its pilot. Um, he even makes a tongue-in-cheek joke that the part that Rick Dalton plays was actually played by Joe Don Baker in the actual pilot, and they make a statement of that Joe Don Baker was the second choice. So it's just little nice in nods like that happen, and those are cool. I like those. There's a lot of talk of celebrities and movies and all that stuff for the time. It definitely reads like something Quentin Tarantino wrote. Getting to the ending, one of the big things of this book is the whole Steve McQueen Great Escape story. He tells it once to Timothy Oliphant, the Jim Stacy character, in the movie, that he was almost got the main role in The Great Escape, but he missed it because McQueen did it, and that he was on a short list. And it gets brought up a couple of times. Like, he has to tell this story multiple times in the book, and then he finally, like, explains why he doesn't like the story because he logically went through what all happened and all the choices and who those guys were, even though now everybody at the time the book is set in, laughed off those other three guys, and that Rick Dalton was definitely going to get it. He explains that if McQueen passes on the role, this guy's getting it because this guy got the role in the movie McQueen passed on to do Great Escape. So, but let's say something happens to him. This guy's getting the role because of this, and this guy, if he passes, this guy's getting the role because of, contract. And once you get to the bottom of the list, you're just going to start a new list. So Rick was never actually going to get the part. And I thought this was going to pay off. I thought this was going to have a nice, payoff when, in the last chapter, Steve McQueen shows up to go to Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate's house, which are Rick Dalton's neighbors, for a pool party. And he sees Rick outside of his house, and they have a discussion. And I was expecting the whole Steve McQueen thing to pay off, with, McQueen either confirming that there was no way in hell he was getting the role, or that McQueen was going to actually confirm that, oh yeah, he was definitely the number 2 choice for it. I would have accepted either of those, but you don't. You just get a weird bit of discussion between McQueen and Dalton, and McQueen goes away. The book apparently ends, again, from doing research, on a scene that was deleted from the movie, that isn't on the deleted scenes, even though it's apparently Leonardo DiCaprio and Quentin Tarantino's alleged favorite scene of the movie that they had to cut. It's not on the deleted scenes. A image of it, is on the poster. If you actually look at the poster, there is an image of it because the girl who plays Trudy Frazier, Mary Beth from Lancer, is only on the Lancer set in the movie. But if you look at the poster, there's actually a scene of her in what is definitely not her Lancer clothes with a phone. And that's because she actually has a phone call conversation with Rick Dalton that was filmed. It was supposed to be in the movie. It didn't end up being in the movie. It wasn't released as a deleted scene, and that's the ending of the book. The book decided to end with that conversation of them running lines and her again saying that he's a great actor and him realizing that that he actually loves, that he's doing what he loves and he needs to be happy with it, which kind of also spurs him into doing the Italian films and all that stuff. So it's a decent ending. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a book ending because it has all this Manson and Sharon Tate stuff, and it doesn't end with any of it. So it just all makes all that very, very unimportant. Even the character of Trudy Frazier was definitely supposed to be more of the awakening for Rick Dalton and making him realize he really likes acting, because she does way more in this book than she does in the movie. Overall, I liked it. It is, if you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if you enjoyed it, if you want more information on these characters and a little variation on the scenes, definitely check it out. It's a good book. Apparently a paperback edition came out years ago. I never saw it, never owned it. This is the deluxe edition, is the one I bought because it's the one I found. And in it, not only do you get the 330-something page novel, You also get a 25-page script for an episode of Bounty Law, Rick Dalton's TV show. I did not read that. I just didn't. I decided not to read the Rick Dalton. You get some more images, but they're just like the movie posters to Rick Dalton's movies, slightly altered, obviously, to have Rick Dalton in them. You get good images of the TV guides that are in Rick's house, which you can actually see. You can actually see these in the movie. You also have like a Bounty Law, the dime novels, a lunchbox, some other a Bounty Law board game. Like, they made a Bounty Law board game. Someone designed that. Someone designed a Bounty Law board game box for this thing. And then you get, like, again, the posters for, like, the Rick Dalton movies that you see throughout his apartment and the ones he makes in Spain, España. And then you also get, and I didn't read this either because it's just weird, you get a full Mad Magazine Bounty Law parody. Like, this thing is pretty massive. Like, I'm pretty sure in an actual Mad Magazine, this would have been way shorter. Like, I read Mad Magazine when I was a kid, and most Mad, like, their parodies ran a couple of pages. That's it. This thing is like many pages for this Mad Magazine parody of Bounty Law. And I'm not actually sure if it released it. Like, if that was something that Mad released for the movie and it got put in the book, or if that was something the artists that Mad made, again, because I know the Mad Magazine cover's in the movie, if they made it as a supplemental thing. I don't know. But overall, like, again, if you're looking for a good companion piece to the movie, the book is really good. I definitely read it if you like the movie. It is just different enough and just interesting enough to really hold your attention and make you want to keep reading and looking into the world of Rick Dalton. So, this has been my review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the novel by Quentin Tarantino. I hope you enjoyed it. I wasn't planning on finishing the novel last night, so I wasn't planning on doing this video. Every video, anytime I start planning these bonus videos, I just need to start kicking myself in the butt and going, no, don't plan it, just do it. Because you start planning, and then your plans change because you just decide not to do something. Because I was going to watch Deep Water last night, and I didn't watch Deep Water. I finished reading Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, life choices. I still might watch Deep Water this weekend. Who knows? We'll see. All right, I'm Martin Prevost. This has been Rank the Movies. I hope you enjoyed me talking about a book. And if you want me to talk about more books, let me know. I have no problem talking about books. I like reading books. Not necessarily books just based on movies, but I like books. I like good books. So, yeah, maybe I'll talk more books. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the stuff. All right, later.